live. All right, here we go. So, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Silver Tower podcast. Today, we're doing a little bit of a more of a discussion type video, which I think is kind of a interesting topic. We're going to be discussing about kind of like the video gamification of Warhammer, if that terminology even makes any sense. But you'll see as we discuss through it. Yeah, with me today, I got some of the usuals, but also a new person too. So we got, Tyler, who's also my daddy.
Hey.
We got Bushwookie over here in the corner or in the
What's
middle.
cracking?
And I don't know if you want to say your name or not, but you can if you want to.
Hey, I'm Samurai. I aim to please.
He aims to please, and he will indeed.
He's a people pleaser.
I please many people.
Oh yeah, that's what all the masseuses tell me. But yeah, anyways, for the show, that's the topics, and we'll probably touch on the leaks, any kind of 40K leaks too, because I think there's been some stuff. We'll probably start that first. But before I even get into it, something I kind of wanted to start doing for the show is like get some viewer engagement. Is let viewers email in like comments or questions or just whatever thoughts you have, like maybe expand on the topic that we talk about or tell us that we're stupid and we got something wrong, like whatever. So if you guys want to do that, feel free. Just email the Silver Tower podcast at Gmail. And that's the show's email. So just email whatever you want to type in, and then we'll read it on the show and respond to it. And I always think that's fun. That's always a fun thing on some podcasts. So I want to start doing that too.
Watch you get doxxed.
Oh, was that some shit talk?
No, watch you get doxxed.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Reverse trace this email address.
How dare you talk about 40K?
How dare you say that about my favorite faction?
My favorite faction.
I'm gonna call the police on you.
Guess what,
Alright, well-
son?
Well, let's start then. Let's do a little touch on any 40K leaks. So actually, I think I heard something too that I could mention maybe if nobody else mentions it. But I think Tyler, it sounds like you kind of know what's going on with 40K leaks. But what have you heard? What has the price told you?
I've been in the shadows of Reddit lately, and there's been whispers. So I did hear, or I did overhear that this next edition is going to be.
Oh,
dude, am I
my
gone?
bad.
Did I just leave? Was that
They got him. They got him.
They got him. There we go. Look at that.
So yeah, like I've heard a couple things. I've heard that there is it going to be a new model for Gretchens for orcs, and that the size is going to go from 11 to 10. That they're going to make them smaller. So if they're reducing the size of throwaway units like Gretchens, I think we're not going to see a push for hordes as much in 11th edition, or they're going to probably up the price of models and drop the model count. What do you guys think? Have you heard anything?
Well, if
I heard that too.
Okay. So what I've seen, because they did this to Cataphracti Terminators in Horus Heresy. It went from a 10 model box, and then when the new models came out, it went to a 6 model box, but still like roughly around the same price point. I think it's like a $10 to $15 difference between the actual two boxes. So I could see that happening in the future with newer models, but like keeping them around the same price point, but a lower model count.
Yeah, I think so too. And then there's like a debate going on Reddit between, if we get new boys, are we going to get another set of monopose, or are we going to get a variety set for the boys?
I think there will be a variety set. I mean, with what we've seen with the Red Corsairs release, I mean, I think, and this is just my little personal theory, I think 10th edition was basically, that was the time for refreshes. That was like all the battle line units, all the generic units, all the pre-established units to get refreshes. And that 11th edition, I think what we're going to see is that's going to be the push for new units. That's going to be the push for customization. That one of the arguments I've seen for example, Primaris, because a lot of the complaints were like, oh, Primaris, they're too generic looking, they're too boring, and it's like, oh well, it's to give you a blank canvas to work with. And I think 11th edition that's where we're going to get all the greebles. That's where we're going to get all the custom bits to put upon that blank canvas we've been promised. So as far as orcs, I could see orcs being very, I could see orcs getting a lot more customization, a lot more love. They got a couple new things, but honestly, I mean, most of the new stuff was just Space Marines, a little bit of chaos, and it's like, and the Xenos got like barely any love. So I could see 11th edition being the thing that pays off for Xenos and also for some of the chaos stuff, because I know the Year of Chaos had a lot of Imperium stuff and not a lot of chaos. So
Yeah, they just made a mistake. They meant next year is the Year of Chaos. It was a Tzeentch employee all along.
Yeah, the dude forgot to put the S on years.
Yeah,
That's all.
yeah.
Yeah. Years of chaos.
what's more chaotic than having the Year of Chaos happen on a different year?
Yeah.
Another cool thing that I saw is a lot of people saw the leak for the orc boss. And then they were talking about the fact that that model is coming with an ammo Gretchen. And that's traditionally not a piece of equipment that you could have gotten with your orc boss. And then they showed the other build that you could have, which was to have an attack squig. So does that mean 11th edition is going back to the old ways of points per army gear? Thoughts?
So that I believe it is happening because with Masters of the Maelstrom coming out, and now that I have the book in front of me, that you could create custom characters and you have to pay for certain war gear or certain abilities and stuff like that. Like I created a Palatine in Paragon Warsuit as a because for the Paragon Warsuits for the Adeptus Sororitas, they only have one leader and it's Morton Wall. There's no other leader out there. But having a second leader who is a Palatine that could give the unit lethal hits or it's reroll charges, that makes taking a second squad of Paragon Warsuits more viable. But with Masters of the Maelstrom dropping and them introducing points per war gear now, I think that's giving the players in 10th edition kind of like a foot in the door of how 9th edition worked, because 9th edition was a good edition, 10th edition sucked. So with 11th edition coming out, we're gonna see if it pops off again.
Yeah, I kind of hope they do, because I feel like when you have options like that, like when units or characters can bring optional stuff, which are like optional weapons, ability, armors, whatever, you kind of have to have a balancing mechanic behind that. And so it kind of makes sense to do points, because if you just make it free, then it kind of like, I don't know what you call it.
You're just gonna bring the best.
Yeah, exactly. You're gonna bring the best thing for free. There's no, God, I can't think of the word. There's no like way to like this stuff, or it's like flavor too. It feels cool, But yeah, I think adding points to kind of benefits it too, because I seen them with AOS actually. Like it was funny. When AOS for the current edition, 4th edition, AOS has those endless spells, and then 3rd edition you had to pay for those endless spells to be in your list, and it was like but per spell. Now you can take the whole lore. Well, in the beginning it was like the whole lore was free, and it got ridiculous because literally everybody just took the best lore, and so every tournament you go to is just like the same fucking manifestation lore on every game army, and it's like, wow, like how cool, how creative, look at that, everybody's got the fucking death lore of magic, wow, how original. And now they added point values to it. They're like, okay, well, the good ones are going to have the highest points. The shittier ones will have lower points. And the really shitty ones will have like no points to it. And that actually kind of like balance things out more. Now people aren't just taking the best thing anymore. They're actually picking what's kind of better, or they're gonna actually play around with the list building more because of that point requirement.
Yeah,
So, and they did that with some certain abilities and stuff too. And now certain enhancements and artifacts cost points now, like the ones that are really good, like the basic ones don't cost anything, but like the really good ones cost like an extra 10-20 points. Same with spells too. So that's actually making list building a little bit better that they started doing like a year ago. But yeah, in general, when it comes to like these games, I think having points tied to like optional things you can bring probably should be there, just for like balancing reasons too.
Yeah, because I got in on AOS, I think around the tail end of second edition, and it was the spell lores, obviously, like they costed points, but also faction terrain costed points as well. I
Oh
believe
yeah,
it. Yeah. And the way I see it, like faction terrain now, it doesn't cost anything. It's like 0
yeah, they don't cost
points.
anything still.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and then like again, getting into Horus Heresy, everything costs points to an extent. There, like sometimes you get like if I take a Praetor Terminator, it's like, oh, I could get a Thunderhammer for an extra 15 points on it. So it makes my Praetor in Terminator armor from 110 points to 125 now. But he he could smack the shit out of something. Or even in Necromunda with my Ash Waste, I could like the Ash Waste, like my regular Ash Waste nomads, my Ash Waste warriors, they're like 90 points, but for an extra 30 points, I could take a long rifle.
Well, the fun thing with Necromunda is like, I guess it's like a little more role play because like, there's no points for the guys. It's just the credit cost. So just however much money you got.
No, they're because like you have like in what I've learned is in every Necromunda campaign you start with 1,000 credits, and then from there it's like, okay, you buy your dude, and then you buy the war gear on your dude, and then from there it's like, okay, now if I want to upgrade his war gear or upgrade his armor or give him night vision goggles or give him instead of mesh armor, flak armor, everything has a price tag, which I am actually enjoying because it forces the player to, like you said, to have a little bit more imagination when it comes to list building. And if they bring that back in 11th edition, then it's going to force players to be like, all right, I need to play to the niche of my army, because now I like with my sisters, I can't just bring meltas on fucking everything. It's not like, all right, I need to play to more of the niche of it. It's like, all right, more flamers, a little bit of variety here and there. I just can't spam, 30 meltas on the field. Or like with like Space Marines, I can't spam fucking Vitrix Guard and then fucking intercessors for home objectives, or even like let's take the Space Wolves for example. It's like, oh, I want to bring fucking Thunderwolf Cav. Guess what? They're all gonna have storm shields and fucking heirlooms. Or it's like Wolfen. They're gonna have heirloom weapons with their fucking fucking daddy. The paid promotion.
What are you doing, Big Daddy?
Water.
No, I just got thirsty. I was thirsty.
It just now would like that the fact that introducing priced war gear makes it way better. It's forcing it would force players to kind of like, all right, I need to be a little bit more crafty. How many points do I want to throw into a squad? You know what I mean?
Bro, what's so cool about the concept you're talking about right now is like you go to these tournaments and let's go with a unit of okay, Brandon, like a unit of Zangors. You can only bring so many weapons because in a unit of 10, only so many weapons are allowed to take of a certain variety. If you go back to load out gear the way it used to be, they could be the cheapest unit on your table, or they could become the most expensive based off what you give them. And I think that'll move models because there's, I mean, the list that you're seeing at tournaments, identical based off faction.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Well, and I would say it allows for specialization because for me, I'm gonna be honest. I started in ninth, and for me, uh, and I only played a little bit of ninth. But my thing with ninth was I'm all like, this is too many options. I'm like, I gotta choose every little thing. Like I'm getting bogged down in details before I even get to play. And initially, something I liked about 10th was it's like, oh, this is very streamlined. It's very simple. It's like, and I was still new to 40K at the time, and like I liked that aspect of it. But I think that the trade off for that simplicity and for being as streamlined as it was for new players is that a lot of old players, uh, the game lost a bit of the staying power for them because it's like, oh, I can't specialize like I used to. Is that it's like, like Bushwookie was saying with the all meltas, is it's like, technically, even with these new rules, you could still bring all meltas, but it's like, but now that's a choice. It's not just like, oh, they're the best weapons, so of course I'm going to take them because there's no downside. It's like, well, actually, I have a specific play style in mind, and that I know this is a risk because I'm putting all my points into this, but that's a choice I've made. It allows for more character expression and it allows for specialization for more veteran players. And I think, I'm very hopeful as to how it's going to interact on the tabletop.
So I understand what Samurai is saying. He's like, yes, but when you introduce points per war gear, like let's take Horse Heresy for example, a Melta is 20 points per model. In let's say my Retributor squad, which is right now already 125 points just for the squad base, and then if I wanted to throw in 4 multi Meltas, that's an additional 80 points that I have to throw into that unit.
Yeah, and
So-
it's like it's not just a freebie decision anymore. It's not just a like, oh, this is the best weapon, so of course I'll take it. Now it's like it's a choice now. It's not a gimme anymore. And
And that's probably the problem that people feel a lot with 40K is like it's kind of like really, I don't know, I guess basic, right? Like that's a lot of complaints I see. Like
it's very
the
simple.
flavor, because there's no restrictions on stuff. Everybody just brings. It's so easy to bring the best thing without any kind of like, I guess, restriction or penalty to it.
Yeah,
and then that's why now, yeah, like you guys are saying, like that's why you see a bunch of like the same lists at tournaments and crap like that. So yeah, hopefully in 11th edition that stuff gets fixed and they notice that and see that what's been going on with 10th.
yeah, like when I went to Palm Springs, I kind of walked around the tournament tables after I was done for the day, and I saw 4 of the same Space Marine like list. It's just like small variations. It's like, oh, I didn't take the like this Hell Blaster squad. I instead took Eradicators with this shit, or like something different. It's slight variations, and it was always like 1 or 2 units that it's a different variation.
Oh, you know what? I think a leak I heard, I don't know if you guys heard it too, was they may not even do codexes for 11. It's something I heard, which is really wild. It doesn't make sense because they always want to sell books.
Yeah,
I could see them
That's
doing
crazy.
a subscription to the app, because that's the thing is like I bought physical codexes in 10th, and it's like now with the codes, it's like, oh, I'm gonna spend $60 on a book that's immediately, look where you started. But yeah, I'm gonna spend $60 on this book that is immediately gonna be wrong within like a week when they update the
Yeah,
app.
yeah.
And it's like, and this book's not even gonna it's not even gonna do anything for me. So it's like, honestly,
You're literally paying for the code so you can use it in the app.
You really are. Jeez.
And here's the other thing is like, you have a codex, but honestly, people are per faction are only using 1 to 2 of them. Like no one's adventuring because everything is already subscribed for you. Like if
Yeah.
you're Gene Stealers, you're either running Muscle Beach or you're running the host, and that's it. And the lists are already pre-made for you. You just show up and maybe you get lucky, maybe you don't. But
Yeah.
I don't see anyone really run variety on any detachments.
Yeah.
That's true, but that's in the more competitive space.
Hmm.
I know when it comes to the competitive space, when it comes to like sisters, it's like Bringers of the Flame and Champion of Faith or Army of Faith, one of those other two. Those are really it. And then when it comes to Chaos Space Marines, it's Veterans of the Long War and Packbound Zeal. Those are the two main lists I see running all the time, or two main detachments I see running all the time. So, I mean, you are right. There's no variety in tournaments. It doesn't seem like any other detachment is viable when they drop 6 detachments per codex, and then like what we got this year was like the Grotmist detachment. So, adding like an extra detachment or two, but it like a lot of them are not really viable. Does it suck? Absolutely. It's kind of the reason why I've been like leaning towards more other game systems instead of just sticking towards a 40k itself. Kind of been leaning towards other game systems like Horus Heresy, like Necromunda. Um, I've been reading into uh what was it? Conflict 47.
Yeah.
Yeah, just
Hell
even like getting back into Age of Sigmar. Like I started painting Age of Sigmar models again because I slowly want to get back into it.
I think it's funny. I went to the AOS RTT last month at the was it Gamers Haven, the one that's in like Colton, and like everybody there besides like one or two guys are basically they main 40k, but because like they're kind of tired of it and 11's on the horizon, they're like switching to AOS for right now until like 11th comes out because they're just kind of tired of playing 40k, and so now there's like 10 guys there who are having like a little AOS scene over there, so I thought it was funny.
Yeah, like over here though, like over here in this area, the Horse Heresy scene is slowly like getting a rise. All that. Like I met like two other people yesterday when I was like building over there at our local game store. Um, that they're getting into Horus Heresy. One of them is just bought like I think like 1,000 points worth of admech for Horus Heresy. But he's gonna like when 11th edition drops, he's still gonna proxy him over for admech in 40k. But he just bought like admech for Horus Heresy. He's like, oh, like hit me up on Discord when you want to play a game. I'm like, okay.
Nice. Oh yeah.
I think also something that 40k. I don't know because I've criticized it before, but I think something to consider is it's kind of the flagship war game right now. That it's like
Yeah. It's the
even
biggest in space.
yeah, it's like that even if you go and you play 40k and you're like, oh, I don't like it anymore. I want to get into Necromunda, or I want to get into Horus Heresy, or I want to get into Conflict 47 or Bolt Action or whatever. It's like I think because of where it's at in like the cultural zeitgeist right now, I don't get to use that word too often, so I'm happy I got to. But because of where it's at right now, it's like even if you don't like it, it's like that's sort of your entry point. And so it's like it's not it definitely has some things to improve upon, but it's also like it's under a microscope that a lot of other war games just aren't because they're not as prevalent in the public consciousness.
Yeah,
So
of course. Yeah, the biggest thing is always going to be looked at. That's kind of just the natural way of things.
Yeah.
I haven't been in the hobby as long as some of you guys, so I don't know how other editions have gone. But one thing that I'm seeing about 11th edition coming up is like you see multiple companies caving into their customers or failing to cave into their customers and losing market share because of it. A good example is like Trench Crusade. Like they jacked up their models and like they're failing. Like nobody wants to play Trench Crusade. No one's gonna play Trench Crusade.
Like, I think some people
And-
like the IP, but yeah, I know what you're talking about. Like I've seen where they just gone back and forth on like their policies and rules, and it's pissing people off, and even the quality of like people pre-bought like resin models, and the resin models are coming in fucked up, and they ordered the book, the book doesn't come in time, or the book comes in fucked up too, and like they got like a bunch of problems going on.
Yeah. So
No.
my question with 11th edition is, do you think that GW is going to pander to its clients? Because a lot of us are saying, hey, on the campaign end or the narrative end, we need a lot of things fixed. Or do you think that it's still going to be tournament based?
I think
they're just sugaring it
they're
up.
gonna
Right
follow
It-
the money.
It's still gonna be tournament based because that's their biggest moneymaker. That's their biggest showcase. And that's for any of the game systems that GW has developed. But they're still gonna have some narrative aspects for it. Are they
Yeah.
gonna lean over a little bit more to the narrative side? I can't say they are, but we just have to wait till 11th edition actually drops.
Yeah, and the amount of like narrative stuff they try to do is going to be like probably the same that they've been doing for the past couple editions.
No, I'm going to disagree with you here a little bit. It's like, I think the shift is going to be narrative. And I think something that was an issue in 10th is there was this sort of crisis of identity where they were trying to go and cater to the narrative crowd, but also the tournament crowd. And they kind of didn't really pick one and tried to do both. And it kind of left both of those groups unhappy. And so I think the shift is going to be more narrative now.
Hopefully, maybe.
Well, and
shit,
the
man.
thing is,
I'll go ahead.
as far as tournament play, I know all of us have done like tournament style 40K, both at like our local game stores and at like, statewide or nationwide tournaments. But it's like, I recently started getting into like, card games like Magic, the Gundam card game. And it's like looking at how those card games treat their tournaments versus how 40K treats their tournaments. There's a big difference. Like for the Gundam card game, even if it's just our local game store, it's like there's prize packs. It's all like there's packs of cards that if you win that tournament, you get that, winner's card. And it's like a version of a regular card, but it's worth like $20 more because you can only get it from winning a tournament. It's some exclusive. It's some that shows, merit. It's some that shows like, hey, I invested my time in this. I got something out of it. And the thing is like, I don't really know if there's like that prize support is there for 40K. And it's like, definitely not at a local game store level, but it's like, I don't even know if at like a national level. And I mean, I haven't competed at a national level. I know some of you guys have, but I haven't. But it's like if you want tournament play, you got to have that tournament support. And then also tournament rules are different than casual rules for these card games. And 40K tournament rules aren't really that different than casual 40K rules. There isn't really a distinction there. And it's like, you kind of need that. Otherwise, you have casual players going, oh, this rule is stupid. How come I can't play this thing I like? And it's like, oh, because John Warhammer from Iowa won a tourney, and so we had to nerf it. Or you have like tournament players going, oh, this rule is a bunch of BS. And it's all like, well, we had to make it fun for the casual players. And it's like, I think they should just split it, or they should find some way to delineate it, have like tournament specific rules or something. And right now they just don't.
Well, when it comes to tournament wise, when it comes to 40K, because everyone has access to the same armies and units and stuff like that, they have to do broad, like a level of broad spectrum nerfing and buffing. But when it comes to card tournaments, like trading card games such as Yu-Gi-Oh, Pokemon, Magic, the Gundam, they have a banned list, and this is very prominent in Magic the Gathering. They have a full banned list, cards that you cannot use in these tournaments due to the fact of how broken they are. Can they be rewritten? can some of these cards be rewritten? Yes and no, because you still have the original card that was created that would be allowed in like your casual game, but if it's rewritten, then you have to pull all the other cards from the like I you would have to pull the original card from like production overall.
Yeah, it's like a whole different beast to deal with.
It's a whole different beast when you're trying to compare a TCG tournament to a tabletop war game tournament. So the rules have to be kind of broad for the tabletop RPG and tabletop war game, not RPG, but war game. Like it. So that's what it kind of means. Like rules are rewritten like every 3 months. Points are changed every 3 months. You know, it's a constant trying to find a balance in such for every single faction and every single unit. But at the end of the day, when it comes down to it, in both tournament systems, it all depends on how you pilot your army or how you utilize your deck. Because like me, I've played at LVO, I've played over at Gamers Heaven at their GT, you know, and like I don't even stand like compared to those people who play that on the regular, like play grand tournaments on the regular. I don't stand in comparison. I am a leaf blowing in their wind. I am just a stick on their foot, dude. That's literally what I compare myself to, because I am
I
literally
think you're
not at
pretty
this.
good.
No,
Reminds me
I
of
am,
that Venom in the Venom movie. He's like,
I think
you're
you're
like a
so
bird floating in the wind, going down the
yeah,
street.
I'm decent enough at the game to beat your average casual player. I am good enough to, you know,
You're like in the silver league in the
yeah,
ranking.
yeah. I'm like silver, gold. I jump between silver and gold.
Right.
Depends on the game and the day. Okay.
Right, like silver, yeah, between silver and gold, and then you got platinum, which is like the fucking top 10, but then like
And then you
gold's
got
like
and then you got like
really high
fucking
still.
diamond, and then grandmasters and all that
Right,
kind of
yeah.
stuff. Yeah, I'm not like when I played in LVO, I was playing against fucking gold, platinum, and fucking grandmaster level dudes, and I couldn't compare, but that's just it was my skill level versus their skill level, my list building that I decided to bring against their list building and their understanding of the game to my understanding of the game.
I have this theory. I kind of want to like share it and see what you guys think. So like, all right. So we all went to LVO and we did a narrative play, right?
Yes.
One thing
Correct.
that I was thinking about is that like day 2 of the tournament play, only the elite guys stood, right? Only like the best of the best would stay for the last days, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's money walking out the door. So
But not
maybe
really,
the
'cause your
reason
ticket
why,
pays for the
huh?
whole thing. Your ticket already pays for the whole thing.
Yeah, but
Right.
like that means that person's not
You
buying
want
food. That means they might not buy new models. That means they're not gonna buy a cool thing because they're like, "Hey, I lost 2 rounds. I'm going home." But narratively, I didn't see anybody leave, and I'm thinking maybe that's a new tactic that keep butts in seats. Like, yeah, have your tournament bros, but maybe uplift the narrative play to make people, waste more money.
I don't know. I think
Well,
it's like more complicated than that because, like, at LVO, what I saw too, because I had like, 'cause I was at the AOS tables and I had the old world right next to us too. Well, old world and the normal tournament AOS next to in between, like the AOS narrative section. And what I noticed is like when old world finished their stuff and they're in the last day, same with the AOS guys. Like a lot of the people actually stay just to like play games. Like on the old world side, they did like a narrative thing and they were doing like siege battles, which looked really cool. I'm like, damn, that's fucking tight. And then On the normal AOS side, they're just playing like normal like match play games. But I was surprised. I'm like, how many people stayed, and they were just like sitting there gaming, and only like the top 10 tables were actually like doing the tournament stuff. Yeah, so I think it's a little different than that because people kind of seem like they're already staying because they want to stay. I don't think they need like other reasons to stay than to just wanting to like play games, I guess.
I mean, on the 40K side, it was a little bit different because that
did it empty out a lot more?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
It was like on the last day, it was only like the last 16 tables.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and there were still some people who came in and still played a casual game, like whatever, like to see if they could get their standing points up to be like in the top, 100 or so.
Yeah,
but most of them did peel out. But I think that's it's like 40K in general is like if you're playing a 3-day long GT, it does tax the brain a lot. I remember when I went to Palm Springs, even though it's a narrative event, I did go with somewhat of a competitive mentality because I still wanted to win. I still wanted to perform my best, and I took my Sisters of Battle.
Oh, so you went seal clubbing?
No. I did not. If I was gonna go seal clubbing, I would have took my knights or my fucking chaos space marine or my Tau and fuck people up.
Oh yeah, Tau probably would have been good. Yeah.
Yeah, but no, I took my sisters. My sisters at the time had like a 46% win rate.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah, you were saying you brought sisters intentionally to kind of like nerf yourself a bit.
Yeah, I took it to nerf myself a bit. I understood the rules, but then when I saw what people were bringing, like some dude brought Repulsor Executioner, some dude brought Demon Prince with wings, a Tau player brought 2 Riptides onto the field, another Tau player brought a Storm Surge. I was like, okay, these people are not they're bringing big shit.
They're bringing kind of competitive stuff.
I wouldn't say competitive, but they're bringing big.
They're bringing fun stuff.
They're bringing
elite
big
heavy.
Elite heavy. To kind of stomp one side of the field. Like I could have been like, oh, I'm gonna bring on every game. I'm gonna field Morden Vol in her Paragon Warsuits to stomp people. But no, I just brought the Paragon Warsuit. I just fielded the Paragon Warsuits. And that's what I did. But that's what I was seeing on the field. So was it mentally draining to play against people who had all these stuff? Yes, it was mentally draining to kind of work around this and all that. So I think when it comes to like a full GT, it does become mentally draining, and you just want to get out of there as quickly as possible, especially in the 40K game system.
Honestly, if you're losing, it's just mentally taxing to go from one loss into the next loss, and it's like, oh, I'm gonna show up on the third day. I've lost 7 games. Oh boy, I sure feel excited for game number 8. It's like, and that's the thing with 40K. 40K is not quick either. I played 6 games. I think it was 6 games at LVO across 3 days. And those were like full 8-hour days for 6 games. Yeah. So it's like, I don't know, like
it does become taxing over time.
Yeah, it's a lot of mental bandwidth you got to use when playing Warhammer.
even kind of like at our local RTTs, it is still mentally taxing because we're playing with like good people in our area, so it's like these people do try to bring out the challenge in you. Yeah, good people.
I think it's their dice. I think the type of dice they're rolling really affects their gameplay. Baron of Dice.
If you want to roll out of ones, use Baron of Dice.
We are not sponsored. No freebies here. Baron of Dice.
I'm
I
just
want to see
saying.
my check in the mail. I want to
I'm
see
just
my
saying-
check in the mail.
Hey,
Oh, I'll contact them now after this episode. Be like, look, we're talking about
Great,
you.
that's
look,
good.
look. I've never used Baron of Dice, and all of you have seen my rolls. On some days they're good. On some days they're dog shit.
I don't like
Yeah.
Baron of Dice. Dude, like I used to like them because I like all the different type of dice, and they look cool. But like, I've rolled so many fucking ones with their dice, dude. Like I don't fucking like their dice anymore.
Dude, I bought
Shit,
I
just
bought
lost
like
their
a
sponsorship.
I bought 100 dice from Amazon. Amazon sponsored me. I bought
I went from Baron of Dice to fuck them.
I bought
The
like
check clears.
no, I've gotten like I think it was like 100 dice from Amazon. Just like, oh, dice bundle, boom, cool. When I was first starting out, and those are the dice I still use to this day. And I roll rocks a lot? Yes, I do. Do people accuse me of my dice being loaded? Absolutely. Are they loaded? I'll never know. I'll never know.
Like, I hope not.
I hope not. I think they're just unbalanced, honestly, because I know
I
like
wouldn't doubt
Baron.
it. Yeah,
Is it
I think a lot of
unbalanced
dice
loaded,
probably
though?
are.
Yeah, going back to the concept of the narrative thing, I think the other thing is like you can leave a tournament and the only person you're ever going to disappoint is yourself because you're there for yourself. But narratively, like you could let your team down, you could let your friends down, or you're stuck because your friends aren't going to leave.
So
You can
many.
either, you know?
You're stuck because your homie is your ride.
Yeah,
And who wants to
Yeah.
pay for an Uber in Vegas? Fuck that.
Yeah, dude. So I think maybe that's a tactic.
Mhm.
Who knows?
Well, shit. You know what? We should probably, because we're kind of already talking about some of that stuff. Anyways, yeah, I guess let's just get into like the whole video gamification of Warhammer, and some of the stuff we talked about already kind of touch on those points. But we might rehash them again. It's okay if we have to, just to get like points across and stuff. But to give some
Dude, that
background,
was
go ahead.
fresh.
Oh,
I was
yeah.
saying that was some good content. That was fresh.
yeah. Yeah. I mean, we're still gonna be talking about all this kind of stuff, so because it all I think it all interplays with each other. But to kind of like set the ground though, and the basis and understanding of like why I'm saying it's the video gamification of Warhammer or war games. You gotta understand the history a little bit. So I did a little bit of research and it's pretty interesting. I actually found one video talking about how like what was it? I think like how well, yeah, it was like the history of wargaming and then also like the history of Warhammer. So like the thing I saw about like wargaming is I think like the very first official war game was like in Prussia. Like the Prussian like military people wanted ways to like simulate battles so they can like do better in battle. And this is like in the 1840s or something like that. And so they made their own war game. And I think it was more like grand scale. It wasn't like how we play war games now where you get like just 100 models. And like I don't think models was even the thing. If it was like one thing represented like 1,000 guys or something, like, right? But it started from that and then developed more. And then civilians got access to that game and started playing it and making like their own little versions and stuff. And then that's like the start of like wargaming in general. And it's all supposed to be like realism and simulating combat on like the grand scale. Then we move forward in time. We got like things like D&D coming out. And I think people who played war games, like civilians in the slide, saw D&D and they're like, oh, this roleplay stuff is cool. It'd be cool if we could like integrate this into our games. And then that's kind of also where even Warhammer comes in. So like some of the history of Warhammer, the company itself, well, Games Workshop, not really Warhammer, right? I guess, but the Games Workshop, they started off just like selling models because for them in the beginning, they're just like selling board games and all types of like tabletop games. So part of the business was just selling games, and then that started including models. They had like the first distribution rights in Europe for D&D, so that's like a big reason why D&D influenced them. I think was because of that, and it's like D&D was a big thing at that time too, like in the 60s or 70s. So it was getting really popular for tabletop players of anything. But as a way for their business to kind of grow, they like the models, they like selling it, and they like the D&D game system. They lost the rights. They wanted to keep selling models, so then they created Citadel, and then that was like their model range, and then that's how they could start making their own models. And then that's why they're even known today as like a model company first, because they just wanted to sell models for games basically. And at first it was generic stuff, so they they have generic elf, generic dwarf, fantasy creatures, whatever. Then one of the original creators was like, hey, it'd be better if we made a game to support these models so we can sell more models. and then that's where like Warhammer Fantasy basically kind of got birthed from, was that idea. But and then the way D&D influenced that a lot is you can see like explanations of the first like edition Warhammer Fantasy battles, like their rules. And there's a lot of D&D like influence. Like even officially had like a game master. So like it was supposed to be like you had 2 players and a game master like directing the game, just like how in D&D you have the game master for the players. So and then you can look up rules and of how those games played, and it's very almost like D&D-esque. Like people have like their whole stat tables. You can load them out with different armors and weapons and blah blah blah. And then they sell the models for that stuff too, right? Like different type of elves with different armors and swords and whatever. Yes, Daddy, what was your question?
Do you think it all like started off all serious? Like the guy's like, okay, so the Prussians are gonna come this way, and then the guy's like, but what if the Spanish?
Yeah, dude. I mean, I think it was pretty serious. They were literally trying to like simulate battles. So yeah, probably. I think so. Yeah. What was that? What did you think? It was something like different or something? Yeah.
Yeah, like I thought, like yeah, it started off all seriously. They're like actually looking at it, like the terrain and stuff like that. And then one guy's like getting too giddy over this, and he's like, "Dude, this is just kind of cool." And then he's like, "But what if the Spanish were to invade?" And then he's like, "And what if this boulder moved over here?"
They're like, wait a minute. Yeah, that's just a movie. Yeah, exactly. Like, yeah, I think from what I saw too, like they enjoyed the game version of it. Which again, why like even like civilians started playing with it and making their own versions, because like it's a game now, so they're just having fun with it, I guess, and doing all their stuff.
Still lost the war.
Still lost the war. Yep, Prussia's not around anymore. It's not a thing. It's just Poland, I guess. In
They should
parts
have
of
played
Germany
40K.
or something. But yeah, but like I think that's like the roots of wargaming though, and that's why I think that kind of history matters, because when the game first started, like roleplay was a heavy emphasis on the game, and you can see that with the rules, and you can see that kind of going all the way up. But over time, it does change. Like they simplify some stuff because some people didn't like maybe all of the rules, like the game master aspect. I think that was dropped in 2nd edition because nobody gave a shit. And it makes sense. Like a game master doesn't really make sense in the war game, especially when a war game is meant to just be like role playing the battlefield, not a campaign.
Well, the idea of the war master is because the rules were so like broad written at the time.
Yeah, that too. Mm-hmm.
That you had to have the game master kind of be like, all right, this is a scenario. This is the rulings of these situations and all this kind of stuff. That's why they had a game master in 1st edition.
Yeah.
A 2nd edition, that's when they started. I think 2nd edition is when they started bringing out codexes and stuff like that.
Yeah, I think they started getting more books written out, more things written out for like campaigns, like changing rules, like army specific rule stuff. Yeah, 2nd edition. I think what I remember seeing was like people were actually saying like 2nd edition felt like a real established professional game, while 1st edition felt like a beta kind of for the game or something.
No, because like in 1st edition, like you could buy like a deck of cards, and these deck of cards were able to like change the flow of the game just outright. But then again, like vehicle movement was just stupidly fucking busted.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna switch over to my phone real quick.
Say again?
Yeah, I'm not even sure. Like,
and today it feels like a video game.
I think so, a little bit.
So
It does feel like a.
Oh, you're good.
Does,
You're good, Samurai.
I'll be right back.
it does feel like a video game, but that's like because that we want to bring in more like GW wants to bring in the newer generation into these games. That's why
Yeah, exactly.
it seems very oversimplified and very easy to get into.
Plus, also you gotta look at like people's mentality. Because I think like the reason behind some of this stuff is like it's like a psychological thing. Like 90s, 2000s, video games weren't really that big of a thing. And a lot of people still play like board games and stuff. So people probably going into war games had that kind of mentality going into it. Nowadays, video games is like one of the biggest entertainment mediums that we have.
Yeah.
And when people are getting into war games, like look at everybody who's basically brand new to Warhammer. It's because they played a Warhammer video game. And then and even if they didn't, like maybe people from our generation or a little younger, they grew up playing video games. That's how they're used to playing games. Like nobody really even plays board games anymore. So they don't have that kind of mindset when it comes to like games in general. Their mindset's based off of what our current day video game kind of culture and design is. And that's what they expect. And so when they go into a war game, it just feels probably better and more familiar if the same design and concepts from like video games are kind of put into the war game too.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's why it's kind of like that. It's like more of a design philosophy thing, if anything, and like a psychology of like the players. And that's why I think we have that shift of like less role play, less like maybe board gamey stuff to probably more like less role play stuff and more into like a board gamey or video gamey type like design.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting you bring that up because didn't Bolt Action say that they're gonna make a video game now?
Are they?
So, I think Bolt Action was gonna make a video game.
There was something they released. Yeah, was it a video game or was it something else? I don't remember. I think I saw
What
that.
is Joe Rogan's assistant called? Jeremy? Jeremy, go ahead and pull that up.
Jamie. Jamie.
Jamie, yeah, Jamie.
Right.
Hey, Jamie, go ahead and pull that
up. Wait, did we got two? Oh, there we go. Let's move this one. Oh, look, he's got his face.
Oh, look, dude, he's coming from the shadows.
I know I'm coming from the shadows.
He's in the darkness. He's in the
I'm in the darkness.
No, but to get to like the video gamification of it, it's like again Warhammer started like as Rogue Trader as a beta fucking tabletop board game, and I think it was like after 10 years they actually started releasing lore.
I think they had lore from the beginning. Well, Rogue Trader might be different because I know that was like, I think the premise of Rogue Trader was literally like, let's just like do a sci-fi version of our fantasy stuff.
Yeah.
And then after that, they started like, and like the same thing as like Fantasy 2. It's like after the first edition, and then when they went to second and third, they really started fleshing out the lore.
Yeah.
The same thing happened with Fantasy 2. There was a lot of like Tolkien type aspects into it, and then they started developing more of their own lore and design and stuff like that into it.
Yeah. And like for the video, because at the end of the day, it is a game, no matter how like any form of media. Like what actually like because like what was it, after Space Marine 2 there was a massive influx of new players for Warhammer itself, because it's like, oh, there's a board game, there's a legit board game about this shit, let's fucking get on it, let's go buy a Combat Patrol or something. And again with like Henry Cavill being like the Superman being into Warhammer itself. So when it like again the videoification of it will make it a little bit simpler for new players coming in, and I think that's what they had. I think that's what GW had in mind at the start of 10th edition, and then like going into 11th edition, it's gonna bring players back to like its foundation of like how wargaming should be to an extent.
You know what? Probably would have been good to like like I don't know what you call it, lay the groundwork for it too. It's like we got to figure out like what does video gamification actually really mean.
Mhm.
Yeah,
And I
is it
think
mobile
means-
gaming? Is it console gaming? Is it what
yeah,
is
I think it's like the design philosophy of a game, and I think it kind of means like it can have simple aspects. It can have aspects like what video games have, and it can have as in like the rules of a video game, right? Like when you play like an RTS game, because maybe the easiest comparable thing of a video game to a war game, tabletop war game, is like RTS games and things like that, because you kind of do the same thing because it's like strategy game stuff, right? And in those games, it's like you hold. It's either, I mean, some of them have it where like you're supposed to just kill the other person, but other times there's like scoring, and then it almost seems like that's where standing on circles kind of comes from a little bit. Is like, okay, well in these games you got to like capture these objectives and score points off of capturing objectives. Now tabletop war gaming, at least in Warhammer, mostly like we have that now. But I think even not even that long ago, right? Like, and I think I know like first or second edition AOS maybe didn't have that really. What when did we get those circle objectives in 40K? Was it like 8th edition or something?
The object
That wasn't even a thing, I think, right?
I think it came in via like 7th or 8th edition.
And I think like there were missions where there were things kind of like that, where it's like, oh, we got to hold an objective, but it was still more of in a role play sense of like, hey, we got to hold this field, and if you hold this field by the end of the game, you win. Like it's more like that instead of like you score points off of holding it. But now the design of it is you score points off of holding it.
Yeah.
And I think that's like a video game-ification kind of thing.
It's pretty much capture the flag or holding the point, like, or conquest in fucking Battlefield. Like Battlefield has the conquest game mode. Wow. Call of Duty has fucking King of the Hill or hold point, however you want to put it. At the end of the day with Warhammer, it is an objective based game.
Yeah,
you got to hold objectives. You got to, whatever the objective is on the.
So that's how you win. Yeah, it's not about.
It's a points based game. It's like if they were just slaughter the other guys, like that would be like an entirely different play style for each army.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And then I think another video gamification thing to kind of define it is also like player mindset too.
Mm-hmm.
And the way I say that is because like even with video games, players' mindsets have changed. Everything is like being the best, having the playing the meta, things like that. There's nothing wrong with that in general, but like what I've noticed, like with video games too, and probably with wargaming, I'm assuming too, because that's what it sounds like when I never see like older people talk about like older editions of Warhammer compared to now. It's that it's basically like the meta chasing and the hyper competitiveness of it, and it's like if you don't pick the best things and you're behind or you're losing, then that's not good. So you always have to play the best thing, because then if it's not, then what's the point? And I think like a big comparison I see with that is there's two. I think like with video games for RTS games, you can see that with like certain build styles or strategies. It's like if you want to be good at the RTS game playing online, you got to follow that main strategy of like build this thing up first and build up these type of units and get these upgrades and then attack in this way or whatever. And then another big way I see it is like MMO games. I don't know if any of you guys ever play MMOs like World of Warcraft or stuff. That big meta chasing is in there too. It's like you have to build your class in a very specific spec. You got to get this type of gear before you can do this type of raid, and if you don't have it, then they're not going to bring you to their fucking raid.
Well, that's optimizing.
Yeah, exactly.
Because again, like playing MMO or Helldivers, Skyrim. There's always
Helldivers kind of has it too a little bit. Yeah,
Helldivers has it. It's like, oh, you have to bring this loadout because it's the most optimized loadout to deal with this kind of enemy. Or let's say Skyrim. Like Skyrim is like, oh, stealth archer all the way for some.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
single player games, you'll see it. You'll see people on YouTube nowadays. Like single player RPG game. You're like, okay, how the fuck can someone make a meta out of fucking this shit? They do. Like Elden Ring's probably a good one too.
Like Elden Ring. How am I gonna speed run Elden Ring? Okay, I gotta do a dex build on Elden Ring.
Yeah. You gotta get like the best weapon or the best magic or whatever's the easiest, fastest way to kill shit. You get that thing,
Yeah,
and then that's when
but
you run it.
that's with any video game.
Well,
Except for Warhammer Tacticus. What?
I never played that shit. What are you talking about?
But like at the end of the day, a lot of games still have that way to optimize your gameplay.
Yeah, because
But the thing is, you don't have to do that.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I think that comes to player mindset because I mean, all games from now until later, or nowadays, or comparing it to older ones, there's always an optimized way to play it. But what's changed is the player's mindset. Back
Mhm.
then, players were okay with just not maybe having the best thing, kind of doing whatever they want or whatever seemed fun in video games, and I think in wargaming too. But nowadays, everybody's kind of I guess psychology or mindset shifted where it's like you have to play the best thing, you have to do the meditation, you have to do that kind of stuff to play these games now, video game or war game. Like that's
But, like,
that's the player's mindset now.
Yeah, but to kind of counter what you just said, players back then did not have the challenges or the like the overall they didn't have the overall challenge that we have in games today.
Yeah, kind of.
in what way?
Yeah, like
So let's take let's take Elden Ring as a prime example. So Elden Ring as a from like any From Software game, very difficult overall because it doesn't have a difficulty meter or anything like that. It doesn't have, you can't change the difficulty on it. So all the bosses hard as shit. You have to build up to fight those bosses. And
Yeah, I see what you mean.
yeah, you could choose any form of way how to build up. You do hybrid builds, you could do a fucking dex build, strength build, endurance build, constitution build.
Yeah, it's the game
What-
design.
Yeah, that's what you could do. But then comparing it to a game that was challenging back then, like let's take a Contra. Contra, for example, for me was a very difficult game to play. You didn't have anything special. You couldn't level up your character. Your character would literally had to jump, move side to side, and then he had his gun to be the next Danny DeVito and started blasting everything in sight. But you had to like the difference was you had to learn patterns of bosses, had to learn patterns in maps and all that. The skill ceiling was different between the two games.
Do you think meta chasing is something that really can't be done in Warhammer because of how fast the meta is changing now? For
Yeah,
example,
so
like I look at Mordaka, and Mordaka was broken, it came out, but it changed so fast. Like I was one of the people who are like, I'm gonna go get a shitload of flash kits. And by the time I went to go get 3 units of flash kits, Mordaka changed. Do you think
mhm.
that the meta changes too quickly for you to meta chase?
the it does change rather quickly. Because again, GW doing 3-month updates all the time, and then them dropping like their emergency balance updates like they did with Mordaka, because that one got changed rather quickly. So yes, it is impossible to meta chase, but also this is a lot from a lot of people that I hear. Bricky, Von Karstein, Aspect Tactics. They
Lost you for a sec. Hello.
all these YouTubers say that okay, like even though these units are good,
Hello.
it is not the units themselves, it is the overall player itself. And these players that learn how to kind of bend where they could make these units broken,
Samurai
then
roll.
they can become the meta.
Yeah, I feel like I don't know. I feel like the way I see the way meta chasing works is like I don't think time is like really a factor because I think uh the base meaning of like meta chasing is just you're just following whatever the best thing is. I mean, time can slow it down or speed it up, I guess, if that makes sense. Yeah. But meta chasing just means you're following the latest best thing. I don't think if it lasts 2 minutes or 2 years really matters that much.
Like because
I see what you mean. That does make it harder
if you
though. I
if
think
you
it does
look
make
at
it harder to
yeah,
do.
if you look at it, because like Space Marines, they have all the tools at their disposal to do meta stuff. It's just being able to pilot on that, being able to pilot that army to do all the meta stuff.
Yeah.
Now,
Like another example I think of is the Kriegsman engineers.
mhm.
Like they came out and they were not broken, but they were decent. Like you would move, and then at the end of that movement, I think you got to do 2d3 damage or d3 6 damage to a unit that was within certain range.
So like the meta with that was, you put them in a Torox, you move the Torox, they disembark, and then they do their like engineering explosive ability where it's D3+3 damage, and then they could still shoot like afterwards with like a heavy flamer with dev wounds. So that's what they were able to do. Was it broken? Absolutely yes, it was. Did they nerf them? Absolutely yes, they did. It was the same thing with Sisters when Sisters Codex still first came out. Every single unit was like sub 200 points. There was no unit that was over 200 points. And they went out, they beat the dog shit
Oh.
once the new balance slate
Well, there you go.
update came around. They got hit with the hardest nerf hammer that I've ever seen. They went from a 56 win rate overall to a 27 overall. And they
My
weren't
guy, you kind of froze on us after dog shit.
oh
Yeah, so what about the dog shit?
okay, what was I saying before that?
Sisters.
So with the Sisters, they were at a 56% win rate when their codex first came out. And then they were beating the dog shit out of, a lot of people. The miracle dice were there, the unit prices were there. It was like a semi-elite at horde prices, and they were able to make an actual impact on the field. And then next thing you know, they got hit with the biggest nerf hammer that I personally ever seen. And they went from a 56 win rate to a 27. And they were unplayable for about like 4 or 5 months. So the meta changes all the time. Nothing stays meta. It's constantly changing. It's just that what faction are you playing that gives you the tools to kind of stay up top.
And I think with the video gamification of Warhammer argument, with that kind of respect too, with the meta chasing stuff, you'll see that in the tournament scene, right? Like I see it with AOS tournament scene.
Oh yeah.
There's people who like literally don't even like attach themselves to an army, if that makes sense, right? Like they're not. I mean, maybe they do, but like the super serious people, they will literally just be switching armies based off of whatever's the best freaking win rate.
Yeah.
And like they don't even care like about the hobby side of it in that respect, which I think is kind of sad because it's like half of the wargaming is like the hobby side.
Mhm.
And yeah, you'd be like, okay, like wow, Corn is doing super good. I'm gonna fucking sell off this army, buy a fucking Corn army just so I could play it for the next 2 tournaments. And then when that shit gets nerfed to the ground, I'll just buy the next army that's really fucking good. And that's a thing you'll see in the tournament scene. I mean, I'm sure in other areas things could obviously be different, but it's definitely easy to see that. Like you might either see that with like a certain player or two that you see around there, or maybe half the communities like that. Like I know AOS here in SoCal is pretty competitive actually. Like there's a lot of competitive people out here for AOS, and like half those people I see, they're like meta chasing. They're like they always like I'll look at the RTT and I'll see like what lists they brought and like I think right now like Nurgle is really strong and like half the armies are Nurgle. I'm like, oh cool.
Yeah, 'cause, like,
Yeah.
wasn't it
That
like
must be a fun tournament.
yeah, wasn't it like last year that like Slaanesh was just like broken?
I don't think so. I think
No,
Slaanesh
like
has been such I
Slaanesh,
think Slaanesh won a tournament, but then I don't think they've been broken.
there was
Maybe in
one.
certain aspects they
Yeah,
get broken.
there was one at like one time that because this is when I was like thinking about getting back into AOS, and it like I was talking to some AOS competitive players, and they're like, "Oh, Slaanesh is broken. Like it's broken because they have like." Oh, like they have like advancing and charging and all this kind of stuff, so it gets you down the field super fast. And then their units are like stupidly cheap. But they're like, oh, and then in like the next update or whatever, they're gonna get like nerfed. So don't buy into them right now.
Yeah, I think they've always had like a weird spot with AOS because it's like I feel like they're mostly kind of shitty, and that's why a lot of people don't play them, or they're just hard to play. But then like every once in a while, they'll kind of have like a glow up with something, or someone figures out a build, and then that gets really strong. But then they win a GT with it, and then it gets fucking nerfed, and then nobody touches Smash again for the next 2 years or something.
No, this is kind of
this
this is kind of the reason why I'm kind of leaning over towards Horus Heresy because there's not really a meta.
Yeah, probably it's a lot harder to do. Especially in Horus Heresy is definitely
Yeah, there's not really a meta. There's more like playing into your army's niche. So playing into your like pretty much the meta is playing into your army's niche.
Which is probably like a better thing to have, I think, like because I think sometimes metas pop out because people mess around with certain rules and builds, and then usually something becomes the meta because they might find something broken, and that broken thing is like an unintentional design of that army, and then that's why they're playing it, and then and that's why it gets like nerfed like a couple months later or something.
Well, no, here because like like Horus Heresy doesn't do the same thing that 40K does. They just release FAQs, so it's like, oh, if there's a misunderstanding within the ruling, it's like there's an FAQ dropped about it and be like, hey, this is intended. There's no there's no points update, there's no rules rewrites. It's just like, hey, this is the way it's supposed to be, like this is the intended use of this wording. So there you go, and then that's patch right there.
Yeah, and that's what I mean. Like I think that's like better internal like balancing, I guess, if that makes sense. Like
and from my experience, the community is like a lot better about it, especially in the tournament space about it. Because
I think I see that stuff too.
Because like you could take 4 of like a whole bunch of shit, like 4 Contemptor Dreadnoughts, 4 Aquila Bombardiers. You could take 4 Sicarian Venators, because why the fuck not? You got the points for it, why the fuck not? But it's always like been a general community rule that you only take 2.
Yeah,
you don't max out. You only like you take 2.
I'll see that in Old World because I'm not really playing it, but I'll follow it and the local scene too, or the SoCal scene. And I see the same thing because like with Old World, ever since the Cathay came out, they've actually kind of been busted. But usually they're busted because of the balloons. The balloons are like really strong, and we can see like certain GTs around the world. The sweaty people are bringing like all the balloons and shit with Cathay, but then I'll see like in the local SoCal scene, people are like they might want to play Cathay and they have it because they like the army and the war and stuff, right? But they'll eventually be like, okay, I'm not gonna bring a bunch of balloons because I feel like an asshole like chasing this balloon meta and just like fucking everybody with balloons. I'll just bring like 1 balloon if I really want one.
Yeah,
and then just do it like that. And they're intentionally doing stuff like that at like RTTs and GTs and stuff.
Because that's what I've seen. Because like it's for Horus Heresy, like Imperial Fists are like the best. Iron Warriors are the best. Alpha Legion is like up there. So there's like units, armies out there that are up top, especially like let's say Iron Warriors with like the Warsmith, like the Warsmith, Siegebreaker, and Perturabo, all of them having a Cognis Signinium, and what that does is like you could use their line of sight for indirect fire, so you don't take an indirect fire penalty. It's like a Tau guiding, but it's like, yeah, I could take 4 Aquila Bombardiers because I fucking want to, and they do a lot of damage, but I'm only gonna take 2, or I'm only gonna take 1 because like I don't want to be that guy. It's more of a yes. Is it a tournament setting? Absolutely, it's a tournament setting, but overall, it's a game at the end of the day. So
Yeah,
you
game,
want to you want to have fun. You want your opponent to have fun, and it's Horus Heresy. You're there to tell a story overall.
You know, I just brought up to my or something I just thought of too, like part of like defining what like the video gamification of this stuff is. And one aspect is like the like win at all costs mentality, which I think is a psychological thing or a mindset thing that's kind of been brought up for video games. And obviously with video games, it makes sense. Like you're playing online, you're detached, you want to be super sweaty with the video game or something, right? But then people kind of have that same mentality, I think, with being competitive and tabletop wargaming. They'll kind of I don't know what you call it.
No, I kind of get what you're saying. Like some builds, when you go to a tournament,
or
and you
it's not
see
even the build,
lineup,
it's like the play, it's like that individual themselves is like it's like the way they're playing. If that makes sense. Like they have that all cost mentality. Of course, their list they build or bring is part of that, but it's like more of like that individual person themselves, not even the list. That's what I'm talking about. As far as like the win at all cost mentality thing being ported over from like video game win at all cost mentality thing, if that makes any sense. Or that's what it seems like to me. Yeah.
Well, because it sounds like you're seeing it as like a culture thing of like those communities enforce that type of play style.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's like a cultural mindset thing. And it kind of gets like ported over to wargaming, I think, too.
Yeah. Again, it's how the community takes the game itself. And how they choose to kind of treat it. I understand with 40K, that's the hyper competitive mentality for it, because it is grown now around a competitive space. So
I mean, it's the biggest thing too. You know, it's the biggest war game in the room. So I think naturally, like the biggest game is going to have the biggest competitive scene, probably too. That's probably like a natural aspect of just like games, I guess.
yeah.
So
that's the way I'm kind of seeing it. It's like 40K being like the competitive, whereas like or ASO being like competitive, having a competitive space, but then you have like Old World or Horus Heresy or Necromunda or even Kill Team having the more like narrative play, like where you could have a little bit more fun with it. Can you get competitive with it? Absolutely.
Yeah, I always can. Yeah.
But it's like, all right, do I really want to be competitive here, or do I want to have a little bit more fun and tell a story?
Yeah. You know,
Tyler just doesn't want to have fun from the looks of it. He just looks like, oh, I'm gonna be a dick and fucking ruin everyone's day.
What if it's fun to be a dick? What if it's fun to ruin
then you have a legit problem. You have a legit problem if you think bullying people is fun. Even though I bully a bunch of people.
This isn't about me.
What if you have like a really nasally voice and they're all like, oh, don't beat me in 40K. Like, what did you want?
I'm gonna beat you.
Yeah, dude.
Please don't beat me, sir. I don't want to get beat in 40K, please.
Look, when I was like showing Tyler 40K, and he got his first army and he started playing, and me and him would stay up late at night trying to list craft and all that, and then one day he comes around with 250 fucking models out of nowhere, and Not he
Yeah, not
his
painted,
mentality.
not primed
It was primed. Some of it was primed,
with Rust-Oleum.
and then some of it was painted.
Yeah.
But like he would just come through and be like, "All right, here's 256 models on the board." Like the idea is just to stress you out. Like I don't want anything else. It's like how
Rage
how you
bait.
how are you going to kill this many models in 5 turns?
You
I
just
still do
not.
that. Yeah.
Yeah,
You still
he
do
right
it.
out
You're
of the
a orc
league.
player,
He's got
tried
his,
and
his
true.
bumper with 100 boys.
And then he
I
like when he showed me the list, he was like, "Bro, I think
Did
this
you
is
win
meta."
that one?
No, he
I
didn't.
I
haven't.
didn't hear back on that.
He didn't.
Did you win
he
that
never-
one?
No, he did not.
No,
How did you not win that one? What happened?
I'm not good.
What do you
Well,
mean you're not
because-
good?
Okay, okay.
That's the cool thing is like you could bring a meta list, but if you ain't a good pilot, you're crashing that plane, you know,
Yeah.
You crashed that shit.
in a tower.
You got to learn how to fly.
Mm-hmm.
It's a good thing we have a second tower.
Yeah.
Maybe they hit that one too. It is the third tower or fourth tower.
They did?
I don't know. I'm gonna just say this: the guy who owned the Twin Towers now owns the U.S. Bank Tower in Los
That's crazy.
Is
Angeles.
it the ones they replaced it with? Those memorial ones?
Isn't that crazy
Yeah.
how that works?
Larry was what's his name,
Finkelstein
Tyler?
or whatever.
I don't know all the Jews, bro.
No, he's. I think he said he's Jewish. Says everything. You know him. No, Larry Stevenson or some shit like that. I don't know. Some
Oh, it
Jewish
ain't no
last name,
Steve.
right?
Larry Silverstein.
Silverstein. There we go.
Yeah.
So he owned like the Twin Towers for like I think like 3 months, and then they went down, and then it was announced I think like a few days ago that he now owns the U.S. Bank Tower in Los Angeles.
So
it's in
crazy.
LA.
Yeah,
Dude, that's wild.
You think that's gonna be the next one? You think we're gonna get another 2 for 2?
probably.
They're saying they're
You mean 3 for 3?
California.
Hey, I'm not going to the Middle East for LA. It's like not for LA.
Not for LA. Fuck LA.
Well, speaking about controversial and saying conspiracies, do you think Warhammer is leaking these models, or do you think they actually are getting like
Most
exposed
definitely.
by their staff?
They are leaking it
think-
themselves, without a doubt. I have no
Well, like,
doubt about that.
Yeah, I think they kind of intentionally do it sometimes.
Well, like
I'm the
Chapter
only one
Master
who knows
Valrak.
this.
There's always so many leaks. It's like it almost seems impossible just to be like a.
Like the
Like-
fact that there was a Maelstrom book leak, and then like there was a codex leak for almost every single codex. It's like there's no way. that-
Yeah, exactly.
Well, and it's like if it was actually a leak that was important, it'd be like way off schedule. It'd be like, oh, we found out about Maelstrom last year, and it's like, no, we're learning about it like 1 to 2 months out. It's like, you know, like, and it's happening for every one of these leaks where it's like we're learning 1 to 2 months ahead of time, and it's like, okay, is this really a leak? Like,
Yeah, guaranteed.
or-
Like in a month or two, there's gonna be a leak of like what the actual 11th edition like box set is gonna look like and shit. You know?
Yeah.
Or like rule
Ooh,
shit.
leak
I literally
is
happened for AOS
don't
4th edition.
look.
Like,
I want there a dude to do an interview and they like blur his face and he's like, I'm the leaker from
I'm a Games Workshop employee.
My name is.
No, like
welcome to
Chapter
Shoot on the
Master
Cover.
Valrak. Like, I like Chapter Master Valrak, but it's like he'll go and have leaks and they're dead on. And it's like, dude, I think they're just giving you marketing material at that point. Like, at what point is it a leak? And at what point is it just an advertising campaign?
What they do, like those people who interact with Games Workshop, like they like I guess officially and unofficially they talk about the new and upcoming shit. So they know what's coming. Like,
Yeah.
anybody who interacts with like the official staff, like they're getting, you know, information's passing down to them.
How would you counter this? Like if okay, let's say that is their conspiracy so they could sell better. It's like what should the community do to counter this? Be like they're like, oh,
Why would you
leaking the new
counter
port,"
it?
and then 3D
Yeah, why would
printed
you
like
powder
a
it?
version of that orc is on like the next day.
Yeah,
No,
they
like
don't
okay,
care. That's the
okay.
whole
You know what's
point of the
crazy?
league,
You know
is
what's
to hype
crazy?
people up. It's
I
marketing.
I follow this guy on Instagram. I'm not gonna plug him. I'm not. I'm
Too many
I'm
advertisements.
not gonna.
Too many
I'm,
advertisements. We need to see the green.
but here's the crazy thing. When they dropped like the defiler, the new defilers, like literally 2 weeks later, a dude already created an STL for them. That
Hell
is
yeah.
like that looks like the GW STL or the GW fucking model. So I'm just like, wow, okay, fucking what the fuck, bro? It's like, is it
Yeah.
leaks or is it like, what's the deal?
Well, it's not just as far as those STLs, they have like stuff to where you can take pictures from multiple angles of a 2D image, and you just have to take pictures from multiple angles, and it'll like build a model for you. Like probably not something as complicated as that, but I could see you using. Sorry, I'm getting feedback from my own mic, but I could see it being where like they use that for the building blocks of it, and then just focus on the fine details later.
I don't think that's healthy for the community, for the GW community. I don't think that's healthy. That's just my opinion. Though. Is it fine? Is it fine to get like 3D printed models? Absolutely, it's fine. But if it's like, hey, this model just been announced, and then 2 weeks later, hey, we have an STL for it, without
Kind
the
of like that. I kind of like
I
it.
see where you're coming from. Like, yeah, because it is like you don't want to bite the hand that feeds you. It's like if you're going and like it's one thing to be like, okay, this is something that GW doesn't offer. Like I've seen like Imperial Knight STLs for like a Space Wolf head for a Knight Questoris. It's like, okay, that's something GW doesn't offer. So you're not in competition with them. But yeah, going and like, oh, this is a GW model and it looks exactly the same. And you can buy it for like $5, print it for like $1.50. It's like, okay, now you're starting to cut into what they're selling, and it's like, without G dubs, we don't have this game.
Yeah.
So I kind of see where you're coming from there.
Like
Well, I mean,
like
they're
don't
gonna
get
have to shift eventually because 3D printers are here, dude. And I mean, the price of a unit is just outrageous at this point. So they're gonna need to figure something out because
Well,
it's
there's different
90% of
factors.
the market.
Because I mean, the other models are what exact plastic. It's plastic, you know. But what we can do at home is FDM type printers, which is PLA plastic or resin.
PLA,
and-
ABS.
Yeah,
Sorry. go ahead.
but what they make is a completely different plastic, which is kind of like the best quality you can use for a model. So they got that advantage, but besides that though, I mean, like if FDMs get so good that like there's no layer lines and they look just as good, or the resin gets such a better quality that it's not brittle and it's not gonna break just because you fucking sneezed at it, then things could shift. But I mean, I don't know. Yeah. But I mean, 3D printing is getting a lot better. People are definitely doing it for terrain and certain model stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah. Like
Like
it,
if I
like
wanted
it,
to
it,
print a
like,
giant model, like a giant Titan or something.
Yeah.
like I understand 3D printing like a Taunar, a Warlord Titan, Warhound Titan, like Titanic models that would cost like thousands of dollars. That I understand printing. I understand it. Or printing terrain, I understand it. But like printing individual models, I feel like that takes away from like the whole hobbying aspect because like, yeah, do I want to print Hellblasters? Yeah, I could print 20 Hellblasters tonight with no issues. But then it's like it takes away the flavor if you want to possibly kit bash those Hellblasters and stuff.
Yeah, there's kind of like a fine line. I think it mostly comes down to like actually supporting the thing that you enjoy. Yeah, unless there's like an actual hardcore need that you need to like really pirate it. Like, I don't know, you live in war-torn Ukraine and you can't fucking buy it because there's no GW store or something. Like, whatever, get it there, pirate it there, print it off, whatever.
Like for my my Saturnine Terminators, I want to get war axes for them. I do. But I don't want to buy 2 more Saturnine Praetor kits to give my regular Saturnine fucking war axes. I don't want to do that. Why the fuck would I do that? Why would I spend $80, $40 per kit, and then only get the war axes? Like that, to me, that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, exactly. It just like depends on what it is.
So I understand 3D printing war gear. I understand that, but like the models themselves, I don't believe in 3D printing full on models.
Well, and
If you
something
need
to
war,
consider-
if you need war gear, go ahead, 3D print war gear. I got no problem with it.
Well, and like something to consider is like sometimes stuff's just out of stock. Like for example, I was trying to get a Land Raider, and for the longest time it wasn't in stock. Or I was trying to get a Ball Predator, and because like I was playing Blood Angels for a minute, and Ball Predators, were the new hotness, and they could do all this cool stuff, and you just couldn't get them because they were out of stock, and they were out of stock for like a year. And it's like, okay, well, I could wait a year to play with this model that I really like, or I could just print it. And it's like, I think it's also a supply issue, is that a lot of the time G-Dubs is just out of stock on stuff, or they'll have something that, they'll have something that's like a cool model, but it's like, oh, it's like made to order. Like you have to order it or else we're not going to make you one. So it's not currently in stock and you're going to have to wait 2 weeks or something like that. Like, or, like, hey, you have out of stock issue with 40K, but it's even worse for some of their other board games. For example, I wanted to get a Rat Ogre for Blood Bowl, and for Blood Bowl, the Rat Ogre was just out of stock. Like every time I checked for like at least a period of 6 months, it was out of stock. And it took me going to LVO and going to the official Warhammer booth from LVO to find a Rat Ogre and buy it there. And it's like, I think that's something also to consider, is that it's like, hey, if I'm just getting into the hobby and I want to get an army as quickly and as affordably as possible, and GW is not willing to offer those models, like, why would I not just print them myself? Because it's like, if GW just isn't going to have them in stock.
Yeah, I think what was it? A YouTuber I watched explained it pretty good, just like that too. It's like if they're not offering it, or you're in a situation where you can't easily get it, then it's like, okay, like, print this kind of stuff. Yeah. Which I think is kind of like a decent take on it, like a good middle ground of like, you're not gonna pirate every single freaking thing they make, but at the same time, it's like, if you can't get what you want, or if you can't reasonably get what you need because of like different factors, then it's like a kind of, then it's okay to like kind of print off their stuff or print off things that look like it.
Well,
and even
I
in general, like if you're printing off like a proxy that doesn't even look like it, then like that shouldn't even matter at all, really. Like, if you're like for example, like a Space Marine, maybe somebody has an STL file for like some whatever generic looking Space Marine guy, but you want to proxy that as normal Space Marines, it's like, that's not a problem, because that's not like directly pirating off of Games Workshop. It's only like a problem if it was like an exact like scanned copy or something like that. But yeah, it all depends.
Find a solution to these issues, because I think that a lot of the time people in the hobby don't want their army to look exactly like someone else's army.
Yeah.
And I think that's what we're running into a lot. And there's just not enough of these little variety kits. But you go online and then there's like, hey, you want your Space Marine to be drinking a cup of coffee? We got that arm. But then you put the arm there, and then GW is like, oh, that's unofficial. We have no, get out of here, kind of thing. And it's
I know, right? And then they got their rules of like, was it the 80-20 rule of you can only have 80% of your, or 80% of your model has to be official, and 20% can be kit bash, and that's literally just like an arm or a head or whatever, and that's all you can kit bash with like extra random shit.
Yeah. And who's measuring that shit?
I don't know. No one.
They're like,
I mean, that's why. Well, GW has kind of like had leniency about that. They've been a little bit more lenient, because kit bashing is part of the hobby, no matter what. So if you want to make something look really, really cool, you can.
I think some of them just don't even know. I think I heard like one time somebody had like
the craziest thunder right now. It lasts like 4 minutes. Crazy.
Thunder?
It was like, dude.
Did your power go out in your hotel?
Nah.
Dude, there's something behind you, man. You gotta get out of there. Hey,
I gotta get out of
kitchen
here.
light.
I gotta get out of here.
Dude, don't turn around. There's something in the doorway. Don't look.
I know,
Don't look,
it's all
you
dark.
don't!
It wasn't dark before. I don't know, man.
Hey, I don't see a
Oh,
reflection in the mirror. Are you a vampire? I don't see anything. He's a vampire.
Sponsored by Necromunda.
No, we're not. We have received no money from any of these places. I need to see
No,
the
but, like-
green to start
Like,
advertising.
no, but what I was like, when I was talking about earlier, when it comes to like, the ability to like kit bash and all that kind of stuff. Let me turn the light on my phone so you guys can see, and I could show the fucking people at home. Like, let's not do that. Okay, let's do that.
There's a magic
Like,
orb.
Magic orb. So this is like my vigilator for Horus Heresy. There's an actual and official model, but this is like all kit bash with GW parts.
Nice.
Nice.
So
Yeah, you got like
And then-
leather bags on his backpack and stuff,
Very
and he's
Yeah,
got like
like-
antennas on a backpack.
Look
yeah,
how clean your fingernails are.
I know, right?
What?
Clean them on the daily. But that's what I mean. It's like
Talking about.
that's what I mean.
That's
It's
pretty
like 3D printing is cool, but it's like to how much of the extent you want a 3D print.
Oh, you know what? Yeah, they're kind of changed topic a little bit.
Sorry,
Well,
guys.
I guess it's not really video
Oh,
game
How dare you?
video gamification thing, but it's
Change
more like
topic, man. How could you do this?
Oh, hey, if we're gonna talk about gamification, we should be talking about that new launch of Dawn of War for Warhammer, right?
Talk
The
about
one
the
where
ultimate
the-
video game.
for sure.
Dawn of War 3, is it?
Or
I think it's
total
four.
Yeah.
Total War Warhammer.
Yeah,
Medal of
Total War
War?
is getting theirs too. Yeah,
And then
Medal of
Total War Warhammer 40K.
which is weird because like Total Wars looks just like Dawn of War, so I don't know like what's going on there.
Hey,
They look like the
hey,
same
they
game
are
almost.
not the same. They are not the same.
not.
You
They're
say
not.
that.
They're not.
Dude, the
They almost
90s are back. RTSs are good now.
Oh, the
I
Dawn
don't
of
know
War.
what that
one.
means. What does that mean?
Because what's it called? Dawn of War plays like StarCraft.
Yeah, right.
You have
Or I
you
heard
have,
it's
you
Now,
have
for
like
the
base
fans out
building
there, what if
on
they've
it,
never played StarCraft?
actually I think
Command
Are
and
they on this
Conquer.
podcast if they've never played StarCraft?
oh, you know what? That was the thing I was gonna say too. Like, there's with the gamification of stuff is we literally have StarCraft 2 miniature game coming out. It's not StarCraft, whatever. It's a StarCraft 2 StarCraft miniature game coming out, and that game's rules is literally supposed to try to play like the video game.
You
I
gotta
mean,
do
not literally,
you
but
gotta
like
do,
they
like,
are
fucking-
trying to make it like a like the game, like how the
like
video
base
game
building
plays.
and stuff like that.
I don't think you
Yeah,
have
that's
base building
crazy.
exactly, but like you have what do they call it? A supply amount, just like the game does. And I
Yeah.
think you do have gas and the crystals as like resources to spend on shit.
Does it have like the rock paper scissors effects?
Yeah, I think it's supposed to have
It's
that
like
too,
Settlers
like
of Catan?
where certain units can
Or
just
is it
counter other
not?
units really well.
It's an entirely
It's funny.
different game.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, I do have to skip down.
Oh, no worries, dude.
Yeah.
For sure.
All right, let's roll the theme song.
It's good having you, right?
Yeah.
Right,
All right,
here's
roll-
Feeding the Ducks.
Roll my
Thank
exit.
you.
thing.
Is your extra
McDonald's. Eat sponsor.
Get that ad money.
All right, I'm out. I'll see you guys later.
adios, baby.
Good night, buddy.
Night.
Got real dark in his room, huh?
Yes,
Well,
indeed.
I think there's only two things I want to point out now. Because we talked about most of everything, but I do want to show. It's not like a video gamification thing, but I got the Realm of Chaos book. Jesus, I can't even see it. But it's not showing up.
Try and like put
We
them
can
behind
fix this in post.
because there's no contrast.
But it's got
Like,
so many
put it
cool,
behind.
flavorful rules in here. Like you got a reserve phase. Your shooting's way different. There's literally a damage table that it makes the damage based off of your strength of the guy hitting the other guy and the toughness of that guy. there's a routing. People can have morale tests and routes in the game. Fear is a thing. The formations can be unformed. There's panic tests. There's
Dude.
stupidity tests. People can be stupid, like if you're running like with a troll or something.
And that's for which game?
This is like an old version of Warhammer Fantasy Battles,
Yo, that's
and
lit.
I think even old version of 40k too. I think it has the mixture of both of that stuff in here.
Yeah.
Dude, we should play that.
Like it's so flavorful. There's so many different things. There's pursuing. So like if the guy you're fighting breaks and fails his tests and he routes, you pursue them, and then there's rules for that. Like the flavor of like all the editions are so cool.
I know a guy who's thinking about making his own tabletop game. This would probably be great for him to hear.
There's even really cool shit in here. Let me see. I found it where you can create your own chaos champion. And they have rules in here. Oh, like they got this narrative outline table. I think you just roll dice to figure out what you do.
What?
For the narrative of your game or your campaign or something. Narrative motives. Look at that. You even got symbols of the chaos language of how you can fucking read it and write it. Dude, the new books don't have shit like this at all. It's so cool.
No, that doesn't.
There's like nice little lore blurbs for the guys. Oh,
When I get back from Tennessee, let's set up a game.
Of this stuff, yeah, this old fantasy game.
Yeah, dude.
Dude, I'll play that old fantasy one with you. You bring the stuff for it.
I don't know about that, bro. I don't know.
I kind of do because I got Doom Kings and I got a bunch of old chaos shit. So maybe I might
Hell
be able
yeah.
I'll do chaos with you. Hey, it's
Yeah, there's some really cool shit in here. Like I think where was it? There is
a local
characters in
campaign
here.
happening.
The
Yeah.
creatures of chaos.
I'll do
There's
Nurgle.
different type of banners. Oh yeah, you got magical banners. You put special banners on guys and they give you buffs for the whole unit.
Dude, that's lit.
Yeah, tons of different stats: movement, weapon skill, ballistic skill, strength, toughness, wounds, initiative. Initiative, just like D&D, where that determines who gets to go first. You have initiative stats in this game.
It works a little like D&D. If it works like how it does in Horus Heresy, it's like you use it for charges and then also for close combat. But it's
Yeah,
like
exactly.
Yeah, it's basically like, oh, this guy's got a hammer, so he swings a little slower, so gets an initial penalty.
Mm-hmm.
This guy's got like knives, so they don't do as much damage, but he can attack faster. So
Exactly, and it's like, oh, and if you're a dwarf, your base initiative's like 2, but if you're an elf, your base initiative's like 4. So you're always naturally a little faster or slower depending on the race of the person. Like that's
kind of
cool.
cool.
It's like flavorful stuff. It's like D&D roleplay, which is really cool. Which is a thing I feel like wargaming has lost. Like I feel like wargaming is supposed to be originally this roleplay game. You're role playing the battle, but now it's just like they take all that flavor out, and it's like, yeah, you get this one weapon, you get this one armor, strength, toughness, initiative, all that shit doesn't matter anymore. Just roll your 3s to hit, roll your 3s to wound, roll your 3 to fucking save. How many died? Okay, cool.
It feels like
I almost
like
feel
to
like
me-
go. I'm sorry, John. You go.
No, but like to me, it feels like chess, where it's like when you play high level chess, you're not trying to play better. You're just trying to make the least amount of mistakes, because at high level chess, there is an optimum way to play the game, and that's just objectively the best way to play the game. And that if you don't do it that way, you're going to lose. And it's like, I kind of see that happening with 40K, and I'm hoping 11th edition could be a course correction, because it's like, I do want to have, because like I've been playing Necromunda, and even when I lose, I'm having a good time. I'm like,
oh yeah.
I had this one guy, for example, in a Necromunda game, and this is a game I was playing with your daddy, but
My daddy.
But I had this guy, and he's on like a catwalk, and I'm winning the game, right? I'm winning the game, but this guy on the catwalk gets kicked off the catwalk. He gets shot like 3 or 4 times, hit with the net, and finally dies in like the 5th or 6th round. And it's like, and even though I lost a guy and he ended up having some like serious injury or whatever, it's like, oh my gosh, that was hilarious. Like, I can't believe that happened. That would never happen in a 40K game. And
Exactly,
it's like, or go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say because the Necromunda has those rules baked, like so many flavorful things baked into it to role play the battle.
Yeah. Or like the book you just brought up, The Realms of Chaos. It's like all that stuff where, oh, I have a special banner. And also there's like, ooh, here's a little lore blurb about the language of like the chaos factions, and like, oh, you can add this guy and he's gonna like inspire your troops, or you add this guy and he's like, this is like the troll handler who makes the troll less likely to fail their stupid roll. It makes them more.
There's stuff like
It's
that in
like,
the game. Yeah.
yeah, and it's like I just want to see more of that, where it's like you get invested, you
Mhm.
build a character, you go in like you go in not with like, oh, this is the best whatever, and like however many forums agree with me and someone did the math and this is just objectively the best, but it's just like, hey, I just have this fun idea and I want to see who comes out on top.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you
Yeah,
feel
yeah,
that 40K is like the it's the intro drug of tabletop games? Because I feel
Oh,
like you're saying the narrative aspect and the D&D aspect, you don't get it until you dive into Necromunda or you dive into a deeper game that's
Yes.
in there.
Uh,
Did you
40K, yeah. 40K has definitely become a jumping off point for other war games. I would
Yeah,
agree
it
with
is.
you there.
Yeah, because like one is the biggest thing in the room, so everybody's gonna go to it first in the wargaming scene, and then yeah, if people don't like the game style that much, and especially if they want more like narrative role play ish type of games, then they're gonna jump off of 40K and hop into other game systems. And Games Workshop does have that stuff. Like I get like Necromunda, like we're just saying. So you could stay within the Workshop sphere and still play those kind of games. Or you can completely jump off and go into other game systems like Warlords games and whatever else there is too. I don't really know too much. Just really Warlord and StarCraft now. I guess Archeon, that's the other game studio, Archeon. That's the one that's making StarCraft. But that one's intentionally made to be like a video game, so that's different.
If I was to tell a newbie about Warhammer, I would tell him like, don't go to 40K. Start with yeah. Like I would tell him like, hey, it looks like it's popular with everybody, but you're gonna get more joy out of this.
Well, I would just talk to them and be like, well, what are you looking for in the game? Like do you want to play it like your RTS video game? Then sure, maybe 40K is okay for you then. But if you're trying to play this because you want to role play a battle, then don't play 40K. Do Horus Heresy. Or if you like the fantasy stuff more, do Old World or whatever. Or maybe you like historical games, go to the Warlord games and check out their shit and do a historical game because you like World War II. So do bolt action or something. That's what I would say.
Did you say anything, John?
Nah, I'm just gonna say it's like as much as I excuse me, as much as I criticize 10th edition and 40K, it's like I legitimately do hope that 11th edition sees, because it kind of feels like 10th edition Warhammer 40K kind of they were kind of figuring themselves out. They kind of had like they kind of lost their identity a little, and I hope with 11th edition they can reclaim their identity and they can go and they can return to the prominence they once had, because it felt like, like COVID, everyone started getting into it because it's like, hey, we're all in lockdown, there's not a lot to do, we kind of have to do something, and it got a surge in popularity, and then now it's starting to wane, and it's like, and I feel like it could be there again if they can take advantage of this and they can reclaim their identity in 11th.
Yeah, hopefully. I mean, unfortunately, I kind of see a lot of people say the same thing. They're hoping 11th is like a good turnaround, probably on all levels, like match play, competitive stuff, and like probably narrative stuff too, that it gets better. But it's a new edition, so it's always exciting. No matter what, it's going to be exciting to see what they do and to play it and test it out and all that kind of shit.
Hey, Brandon, what is your big prediction for 11th edition? Good and bad.
Ugh. Well, I think an obvious good thing is they're just going to expand on the armies more. So I think like the base rules and concepts and designs probably is there to be the foundation, and then they're just gonna add on, more stuff. So there's more options for army factions and stuff. But the bad thing I think is they're still probably gonna chase that competitive rabbit hole, and that I think ultimately is what can like make the game more stale, like the like the whole terrain layout situation. I understand why it's there, but it looks so boring.
Oh, shit
and it
ruins.
looks so lame, dude.
Yeah.
I hate that like your terrain, the 40k terrain is just like so like whatever and bland, and it's just the same fucking piece everywhere.
Yeah, I feel that. What about you, Jonathan Main?
I'd say the same, yeah. It's I'm gonna be honest, that's one of my least favorite parts about 10th is at first it was awesome because it's like, oh cool, I can get into and out of games really quickly. But then it's like, dude, if you've seen one bit of L-shaped terrain, you've seen them all, and it's like, and just all the BS with line of sight and benefits of cover. It's like, dude, everything gets benefits of cover. How does everything get benefits of cover? It's like nothing's out in the open.
Yeah,
Just because
I
of
don't
how
even
the
understand
rules
how. I don't even understand how like ranged armies function, to be honest, because it's like it seems so easy for melee armies just to close the distance and to get in. Even if you don't have long range, you just like hop from terrain piece to terrain piece, and then eventually you get there. And with a shooting army, you have to like stand yourself out in the open to shoot. But then the next turn, you just get charged by that guy. So I'm like, what the fuck do you do, dude?
Well, and the other thing that's a problem is a lot of the tournament stuff is third party. Like I think it's FLG Frontline Gaming, and then what's the other one?
UKC, ESPN,
WKC.
UFC.
The POR.
Okay, that's enough. But anyway, yeah, but like those two are like the major sources for like tournament terrain layouts and for like tournament terrain standardization. And it's like those are the two biggest tournament resources, and they're not even from Games Workshop. Like it's a third party resource.
Yeah, I think that's why like they copied it too, because obviously, or I think the beginning of 10th, like some people were not, or you probably could have done like a tournament without all the FLG WTC formatting, and I think we even did that too. Like when 10th edition first came out up here, I did like a tournament because that's when I got into 40k, was when 10th came out, and we were using trees and craters and stuff for the terrain layout, and it wasn't this normal like formalized thing. And then I think what I heard or saw was that like 6 months, 12 months later, whatever, GW officially made it like those FLG terrain layouts be the official layout thing for competitive stuff, and craters and trees and whatever is gone now. So now the FLG layout stuff is like official stuff now, I think.
Do they have a book for terrain? Do they have a book where that says like this is the type of, because I've heard of it like rumors.
Yeah, the core rules still has it. You still have rules for craters and trees and shit.
Yeah.
Just nobody uses it.
Yeah, dude. Like that's
nobody uses
that shit.
I'd be fine with craters. No, because I think for me also, it's like even if they had the same terrain shapes, but they just had more types of terrain. Like if it's like, oh, this terrain you can only move at half speed through this terrain, or like this terrain instead of a -1 to AP, it's a -1 to hit, or like this one it's a -1 to wound, or like this one you negates critical effects or whatever. Like if different terrain pieces did different things, it's all like, even if they were the same shape, if they had different effects, that could wildly change up the game and add some new stuff.
They have that in Lord of the Rings.
Do they?
Yeah. In Lord of the Rings, you can shoot at someone, and if there's a tree, you have to see if you hit the tree.
Yeah.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, I think I tried it before. Yeah.
Or if they're like one person in a crowd and you're trying to hit that person specifically, you could end up hitting people next to them.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
Or shoot the guys right in front of you.
Or like ladders. You can have, there's one where you can do, what is it? The Siege of Crap,
Helm's
can't
Deep.
remember the name of that. But the one with the giant wall. But like you can have
Helm's Deep.
orc
Minas Tirith?
Helm's Deep.
I think it's
Yeah.
Tirith.
But it's like you can do the Siege of Helm's Deep, and the orc player can raise ladders, and the ladder is an interactive piece of terrain to where like the defenders can go and have an opportunity to push the ladder down, and everyone who's standing on the ladder takes damage. We
Yeah,
just
I
need
like
more
that.
sauce. We need more sauce for 11th. I think that's the key takeaway here.
Yeah, and also, yeah, I guess we can probably start closing this out a bit. I think like the last or one of the questions I kind of wanted to end on was like, do we think like this simplification and kind of video gamey game design did it like hurt the game or help the game, and not just Warhammer, but like any game system? I mean, I would say it all depends on the game and the what they want the design to be and what the player wants it to be. Because obviously people do kind of want these like simple rules, and some people don't. I feel like Warhammer games, especially like AOS or 40K, they're in this like they're trying to like have their cake and eat it too, and like stay in this weird middle ground that like doesn't fucking work. But in general, I feel like you could have both game type systems. There's nothing wrong with that. Like Warcraft game coming out, that one's obviously going to be very video gamey like. Warhammer was originally like a role play style, but then they've shifted over the years to being more simple in their design. I just think they just need to pick a lane, really, like which game system is going to be simple, which one's going to not, and just kind of go from there. And to be honest, it's like, hey, if 40K is not going to be this role play type game anymore, don't make it be that. Like fuck the Crusade stuff. Don't even make Crusade rules then. Just make it match play. Just make it a whole match play thing. Don't even bother with the Crusade shit. Let those type of rules be for Horus Heresy. And so the same for like AOS. Let those rules be for Old World, and then that's it. Or will probably be even better. Just make like two fucking separate game systems of it, basically, and have like a nice role play version of 40K, and then actually have a subset of rules just for match play. And they kind of technically do with like the Crusade shit, right? But like it's not actually designed like that though. But yeah, I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you think that like the simple to like role play game design, like what do you think? Do you think it helps or hurts or what?
You go first, John.
I'd say the thing with simplicity or streamlining is that it's a double-edged sword. Because on one hand, when you make things more accessible, it's gonna be easier to get new people on board. But then the thing is that if you simplify too much or you streamline too much, you sand down all those rough edges. That then when those new players become old players, when they become veteran players, it's like then there's no staying power. There's no like, oh man, here's this thing I haven't tried before, because it's like, oh well, that option isn't there. It's like you've already tried everything out. There's nothing new to surprise you. It's like if you want old players, if you want players to return, it's like there has to be some surprises still left in store for them after 6 months to a year to a couple years of playing. And that's the thing, is that this isn't Warhammer's not the new kid on the block. It's like this is a system that's existed for decades. And that's the thing, is that yes, there's people who came in just this year into Warhammer, but there's a lot of people who have been playing since like the 90s who are like, hey, like what's there for us? Like what's this? Do you have anything cool I can do? Someone who's been playing this, the game for years or for decades. It's all like, what surprises do you have left for me? And if there's no surprises left, they're going to leave for a new system, or they're just going to stop playing. So it's like you can make it more accessible and get new players, but run the risk of losing old players, or you can make it a little more difficult to get into, and you're not going to have as many new players, but the old players are going to have something, that's more worthwhile to invest in. So I think it's an argument of trade-offs.
Yeah.
I think you hit a pretty good point on that, Brandon, man. Like you were saying that they need to either really make it its own thing, or yeah, you're saying make campaign its own thing and make tournament its own thing, correct?
Yeah, like they need to kind of like pick a lane, kind of
Yeah.
what they want the main design of the game to be.
I think the biggest issue for Warhammer is the tournament scene was never their idea. I think that just happened.
Yeah,
I think like tournament scene was born and they were like, whoa, whoa, whoa. So people are fighting army to army. Let's get this ball rolling because like we were all saying, they didn't make the layout for any of the tournaments. They didn't make any of the
Mhm.
like tournament scenes. They didn't host the events. Warhammer is like the supplier of the weapons, but they don't actually host the Roman games. And I think that's where they need to step up and take their game and say, here's the terrain you would use for a tournament, and here's the operations for a tournament. But they're having other people do the work, and then they're expecting the clients to be happy. We aren't really mad with FLG and WTC and all these organizations, LVO. We're not mad at them because they're filling the gap. But it's Warhammer that's being lazy and not making the tournament rules, the tournament layouts that I think the community demands. So
Yeah.
I'm mad at Warhammer.
Yeah, I
Oh,
think
man.
they're just following the market, you know. And it was pretty simple. I mean, it's obvious. It makes sense for like a big corporate, you know, big corporation who wants to make money. They're gonna look at what most of the players are doing, and then or what their customers kind of want, and then they're just gonna follow that direction. And since a lot of people want to play tournament stuff that got popular, that's why they're going in this direction. But yeah, it's funny though. Like it's like they're bad at like actually going in that direction though, because yeah, the community does a better job than fucking what they do. But they are
Yeah.
trying, like they are doing some stuff. Like I think they bought BCP, the best close pairing system, the one
Oh, they
that
did?
everybody uses for hosting tournaments. So yeah, they bought it out. So now they own it. And you know they're obviously doing it in a move to like control tournament scene for Warhammer, basically. You know, and it looks like they're doing more official events too, right? Like the Palm Springs, that's a new one. And they got other ones all over the world, but they're doing more of them now, I think, than what they've done like even last year of like official Warhammer ones. So I think they're trying to get like they're trying to control the tournament scene because that's probably where they're making their money, obviously.
Yeah.
Especially
It
with
feels like a 16-year-old late to her own sweet 16. Like
I know, I just kind of like that,
Like, oh.
like late to their own party kind of thing. Yeah.
yeah. You know you're the main event, right?
Yeah. So this is your game with your scene. Like you could have like dictated all this shit a long time ago, but instead you're just like barely figuring it out and catching on kind of
Yeah.
thing. But
So,
yeah. Yeah.
that's
Huh?
that's all I have to say.
Yeah.
That's a wrap from me.
That's a wrap. Get my wrap. Yeah, I think that was good. I think that was a good little conversation on that. Yeah, it's interesting to talk about. So yeah, for the viewers or listeners or whatever, hope you guys found that fun and enjoyed it. Yeah, I can't speak. Yeah. Again, if you guys like, want to join in on the conversation or say that our opinions are dumb or you want to expand on something we said, feel free to do it. We got our show email, the Silver Tower Podcast at Gmail. Just send us something on there and we'll read it on the show and respond to whatever you say.
Yeah.
But
Like
other than
anything
that,
you say.
we're looking for sponsors.
Anything at all.
like show me your cock. Like, all right.
We might. If we get enough requests, maybe we will.
It's gonna look
Damn,
like
turn into an OnlyFans real quick.
Nice. Well, for all the viewers and listeners, we'll see you guys later. Adios.
Ding ding ding.
Bye.